Hey guys, quick video for you, kind of let you know where we're at and stuff. And obviously last week we had talked about how the market was trying to go from a sell model into a buy model, which is what it looks like right here. And when you quickly go over to the Qs, this is what we looked at last week. We were still heading down and we were accumulating, breaking down, breaking down, breaking down. Here we are now. You can see right here, moving back up right here, setting higher highs, higher lows, all that fun stuff. And again, this is what the market's attempting to do, and it's doing successfully so far. And so it's coming up, retesting that level right there, bouncing up from there. And today we're just grinding up, right? And so again, CPI coming tomorrow. So now we know inflation data is still important. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. So you can imagine if obviously the market CPI comes in as is or whatever, then expect the market to keep going. Looking at some stocks here, you can see Shop is back at its 200 right now, currently getting rejected, as you can see right there. But if it breaks above that, watch out, because right above that is a gap, and you can see the momentum's there because the RSI is above 50. Stochastic looks good, and right there is that gap right there, big old gap going to 75. So if it breaks above a 200, which is bullish, then yeah, you can bet money probably hitting up to 75, assuming the market is going to stay good, assuming CPI. Again, all of this is assuming CPI is going to come in at least as expected, and the market's going to accept it that way. We still have volatility in the bond market and stuff going on, but this is just what you see in front of you right now. Now, looking at other stocks, we kind of go rapid fire through some of these real quick. You can see some of those ones that we talked about. Nike's getting a big bang. A lot of these are getting big bangs basically because Starbucks is up 20% after changing CEOs. They stole Chipotle's CEO. And so these stocks have been talking about for a while, right? How that one's based out. It's popping. And so, again, momentum starting to get a little bit behind the name. Still a lot of work to do. I mean, make no mistake about, this right here is not a tech stock or anything, so I don't expect some craziness. CMG, obviously big move down. The CEO left, starting to recover as I'm speaking about it right now. It's actually around 52, 53 bucks, I believe it is. And so if the market continues to grind up, it could recover. We'll have to see, though, because, they lost their CEO, so we'll have to see what's going to be going on there. And then you go into snow. Again, this one's had a nice bounce after coming to that shaded area, breaks the trend line. It's trying to get the, RSI above 50. Stochastic looks good. And so this is another one of those ones. These stocks have just been really hammered compared to a lot of others, right? And so you can see on the daily, right, or the weekly, excuse me. A lot of work to do on that one. But, Crowd, obviously huge move up. I think it hit 245 a day, if I'm not mistaken. On the daily, you can see the bulls, basically taking back charge or attempting to. But on the weekly, different ball games, still got some room to go. But a lot of them are getting these bullish stochastic RSI crosses, right? And so with that combination of the RSI being over the 50, again, that's kind of what you're looking for. If you're in a downtrend, doesn't always work. That's what I'm saying. Really what you're looking for is to cross over. Like Lulu, for example, is just a hot mess, right? It still has not crossed over that moving average on the RSI right there, even though you keep getting stochastic bullish crosses on your weekly. But when it gets above that moving average and you have a bullish stochastic RSI cross, then we're talking. But Lulu's just been a hot mess. I keep saying it's got to bounce at some point in time, and it does, right? Disney's another mess. You can see right there. No momentum in that stock whatsoever. They raised prices on something. I guess people don't like that. So, but it's one of those beaten down stocks. So we'll keep an eye on it. Now, moving over to like some levered ETFs, like semiconductors have been on fire, right? So when you look at this one, you can clearly see we're on the weekly here for all of these, and then maybe we'll switch to the daily. But you can see it's trying to get that bullish stochastic RSI cross. And then when you look at the RSI, it's right there at the 50 level. And so what you need is that combination right there of getting that RSI above 50, stochastic around usually 80 is what you're looking for the bigger moves. But even getting the bullish cross, it is not a bad thing, right? So, but when you're in a downtrend like this, it can be a whole different story because the market can turn really fast and that stochastic can get stuck down there, right? Like the oversold territory, the RSI, again, not getting above 50. So that's really your key when you're looking at these things. And you go to SOXA, for example, because semiconductors have been the best recovering stocks for sure. And, when we look at this one right here, we'll go to the weekly too, and you see it's trying, all kind of look the same. They're trying to get this bullish cross on the stochastic, trying to get the RSI bulls, are trying to take back on larger time frames the momentum in the stock market, right? And when you go to the daily on SOXA right here, you can see, looking at the daily that Obviously, the stochastic is above 50, but the RSI is not. But again, it's above that moving average on the RSI. It's filling that gap right there. So that is resistance right there. It's where it's been support resistance. So, a break above that, getting the RSI on the daily above the 50 will put the bulls back in charge of this and kind of confirm, what we all think or whatever. You go to SMH, kind of the same deal here. Like I said, they all kind of look the same, where this one, the RSI is like just right on the 15 level, trying to cross up. It's been a big move for it, and it bounced off, that shaded area we talked about and stuff. But again, stochastic's trying to get the bullish cross. Just need really more confirmation on this one to see what we're going to do. And again, if you're in a downtrend, then and that moving average on the RSI has not been crossed, it's kind of an indicator, right? So again, you're bottom fishing, hoping you get the move right without any kind of confirmation. So that's why I'm at least putting this out here to you. And some people do that, right? You can DCA or do what you want to do. And again, looking at TQQQ, which tracks the QQQ. Same thing here. Kind of just waiting on some more confirmation on this one right here. The QQQ did break above the 100. We'll see if we're going to close the 100 as I'm recording this, and it looks like it is. And we'll see how the market reacts tomorrow. So again, we've just been melting up all day, and we'll see if we get a book pull back at the end of the day or not, trying to lead into tomorrow. And so, that was another idea. We're talking about this downtrend. So we went through that sell-off last year right there from July to, I think it was like Octoberish. And you can see we were getting those bullish stochastic RSI crosses, but the RSI was not crossing above its moving average, and it just kept downtrending, right? And then finally, when we got above 50, across that moving average, got the last bullish stochastic RSI cross, you saw a nice, really big move. And that's why I'm looking at the weekly, because that's when you're going to get your bigger moves when you look at the higher time frames for confirmation and stuff. But again, this one's also coming to resistance. So all these charts are kind of looking the same, right? And so that's what we got to see. And this has been, if you measure that, TQQ, it's been definitely a big move up for it right there. And then looking at a few others here, you can see QLD, which is another one that tracks QQQ. It's bullish, again, bouncing off this trend line now for the third time. Coming into resistance just like the other one, RSI, and this is on the daily right here. It's trying to get above the 50, and so it has crossed above its moving average. Stochastic starting to go up into the overbought, which is really where you want it at. This is going to continue. Really, what you want to see more than anything else is kind of like almost like a bounce or rejection, off of that white line, which is the resistance, and then have a bounce off the trend line or come down and grab liquidity and then move up and really power through that resistance. So it would be nice to see. And then you got FNGU, which tracks Microsoft, Apple, your Mag 7 pretty much. And so it's looking the same way, right? They all look identical here. Again, coming to some resistance right there. So waiting for confirmation to see if we break through that or not. That'll put the RSI above 50, so that'll be a good one. And when you go to the daily, you can clearly see the RSI is trying to get above the 50 on the daily. Stochastic looks good, but like I said, coming to resistance. So we'll see what's going to happen the rest of the day, if we're going to sell down or not. And a lot of this will depend on tomorrow, but it's just, for me, I'm a person who loves waiting on confirmation, that bottom fish stuff and everything like that. So, and we're going to see, because again, seasonality wise, it's kind of weird because we had this huge sell off in the second half of July. Normally it's supposed to be in September, October. And so is that early? Is that going to affect how things work in September, October? That's what we're going to have to figure out and kind of see. And really, a lot of this will be based off tomorrow and how the market actually digests CPI tomorrow and stuff, and where we're moving and stuff. So, because we are breaking it back above moving averages and things of that nature. And so that is bullish, right? And so we're trying to create a bullish market structure, which we seem to be doing and going into the SPY model. So hopefully that helps you out and kind of figuring out where we're at, and we'll see how it goes, okay? Have a good one.